In the quiet hours when the world slows, many young adults find themselves staring at their phones, scrolling through feeds filled with stories of liberation, self-discovery, and the bold declaration of boundaries. Amid these narratives, a profound shift is occurring. More than ever before, young people are choosing to sever ties with their families. This is not a fleeting trend, but a deeply psychological and philosophical reckoning, one that reveals both the fragility of human connection and the fierce determination to protect one's inner life. The decision to cut off contact often emerges from a place of accumulated pain. For many, the family home was not a sanctuary, but a source of unrelenting emotional erosion, perhaps through criticism that chipped away at self-worth, manipulation that blurred the lines between love and control, or outright abuse that left invisible scars.
Every step I take resounds with honesty.
Psychologists describe this as a protective act. The initiator, often the adult child, experiences a sense of relief as the constant threat of conflict or invalidation recedes. Yet this relief is shadowed by grief. The estranged person must mourn not just the relationship as it was, but the ideal of family they once held, the myth of unbreakable blood ties that society has long upheld. This grief is ambiguous, lacking a clear funeral or closure, and it can linger like an unhealed wound, manifesting in anxiety, depression, or a pervasive loneliness that echoes through other relationships. What makes this phenomenon particularly striking in younger generations is their heightened awareness of mental health. Unlike previous eras, where silence and endurance were virtues, today's young adults have access to therapy, online communities, and a vocabulary for trauma. They recognize patterns of emotional neglect or narcissistic behavior that might have been dismissed as normal parenting by older generations. Studies show that estrangement often begins in the mid-20s, a time of emerging adulthood when identity solidifies and the need for autonomy surges. Young people are more likely to initiate these cut-offs because they prioritize personal well-being over obligatory loyalty. They ask, why should I endure harm simply because we share DNA? This question challenges centuries-old philosophical assumptions about family as an inherent good, a duty that transcends individual suffering. Social media plays a pivotal role in this transformation, acting as both mirror and amplifier. Platforms like TikTok and Instagram flood feeds with stories of going no contact, breaking generational curses, and reclaiming power from toxic dynamics. These narratives, often framed in empowering language, normalize the idea that family can be chosen rather than endured. Liberal ideologies prominent in these spaces emphasize individual rights, mental health, and the rejection of traditional hierarchies. Concepts like toxic positivity or the right to set boundaries resonate deeply, encouraging young people to view estrangement not as failure but as self-actualization. The algorithm rewards vulnerability and radical honesty, creating echo chambers where cutting ties becomes a badge of courage. Yet this digital encouragement can oversimplify complex realities, turning nuanced family conflicts into viral sound bites and reducing the pain of both sides to moral binaries. Philosophically, this trend echoes ancient debates about duty versus self. Aristotle spoke of family as the foundation of the polis, a natural bond that fosters virtue, But modern existential thinkers like Sartre or Camus might see estrangement as an authentic act of freedom, the refusal to live in bad faith by pretending a relationship is healthy when it is not. In a world that increasingly values authenticity over obligation, young people are choosing the existential burden of solitude over the comfort of conformity. They are redefining love not as unconditional endurance, but as mutual respect and emotional safety. This shift is radical. It questions whether blood ties confer automatic moral weight, or if relationships must earn their place through reciprocity and care. The consequences ripple outward. Estrangement can lead to profound isolation, as the loss of family severs a primary source of belonging. The estranged often grapple with trust issues, hypervigilance in new relationships, or a lingering sense of shame. Society still whispers that family should be forever. For those cut off, the pain is equally acute. Rejection can trigger deep grief, lowered self-esteem, and a crisis of identity. Yet for many initiators, the alternative, remaining in a cycle of harm, is untenable. It becomes a matter of survival, a philosophical assertion that one's life belongs to oneself. In the end, the psychology of family cutoffs reveals a tension at the heart of human existence. The longing for connection versus the necessity of self-preservation. Young people today are navigating this tension with unprecedented boldness, influenced by a culture that celebrates individual agency and mental health above all. They are not rejecting family lightly. They are reimagining it, sometimes at great cost. Whether this leads to a healthier society or deeper fragmentation remains an open question. What is certain is that in choosing to walk away, they are asserting that love, at its truest, must not come at the expense of the soul.